Starter. Huh. What's happening, Puff? I'll be back to you if JD ain't had enough. Yeah? Jermaine Dupri.
I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I let Usher explain that to y'all.
And I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year. And I saw it.
You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Jermaine Dupri. King of the files.
Yeah, so as soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come to LA. Yeah, this gonna be yours. So every time you come to LA, it's a little dusty, but come get the front shot of this.
Man.
Minute.
Woo. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah, when you get 16, you come down there, you gotta, wear your seat.
I mean, I'm 15. You could ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Not yet.
No.
All right,
No,
16.
No,
16.
Let's slow down. Let's slow down, Jess.
Okay.
Let's slow down. Okay.
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours when when you get 16. You good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
And then when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay. I get the mansion.
Yeah.
So where are we off to now?
Where would you like to go?
I mean, wherever you want to go. Where are we going?
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
I'm going crazy.
Crazy.
I'm taking this out tonight.
What you wanna do? What you wanna do over the next 48 hours?
48 hours. Let's go. Let's just go get some girls. Let's go hang out with some girls.
A man after my heart. That's what I'm talking about, kid.
For a minute. And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there. But you got custody of him first. Yeah. Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like. They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there.
What's the deal? It's the boy Dwayne McClain at Dwayne McClain TV. back again with another video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hitting that like button helps get this video in the algorithm, and comment also helps as well. All the links to follow me are in the description box. Links to my Instagram, links to Patreon, and also the link to cop the DMTV merch. No days off. Remember, we want to keep working every day to get out of this little debt loop they got us in. So today's video is going to be about the relationship with Diddy and Justin Bieber, on how he helped groom these young people. He's one of the gatekeepers in the industry who I feel grooms these children. And a lot of these kids go through this. And I'm going to talk about this later in the video, about how we have some few examples of guys similar to Diddy's case, to where these young children come into the industry and they seem to get groomed and seem to go on these wrong paths. And Diddy said earlier in the video that he had guardianship of Usher. Now we're going to tackle that first, because it was Diddy to Usher, Usher to Bieber, then Usher brings Bieber to Diddy, you know, and they just pass the poor little young man all around the industry. All these young kids get passed around, you know, so let's start there.
How are you?
Very suspect and creepy. And what was the purpose of saying it?
Usher! Hey! I'm doing well. How are you? I'm good, I'm good.
Good to see you, baby.
Please tell me about your look.
Alexander McQueen, it's a one-of-one. Sean McGuire and myself decided to put this amazing thing together. A bit exotic, romantic, and but still within the garden theme.
And tell me about the
It's all a part of it. It's everything. You're looking at I mean, this is a true thought, like a cohesive, full thought, you know. Yeah.
And how did you interpret the theme tonight?
Just as that. I wanted it to be exotic. There's all different types of gardens. Some of them get a little dark, but you gotta have fun, right?
Thank you so much.
Don't get trouble, but it's just like, yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did it.
No, I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. You know, shouts out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, just let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even, like, I don't want it to come close to the bed at all. Usher look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. Fresh
Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, I mean, damn, pause, but like, check this out. I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes, because he used to always get up early with me. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And
what the fuck did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this but me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes, and we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was fucking stupid. Listen,
we having a good time, yo. Your Usher made it in the. Hey, yo.
So Diddy caught himself at the very beginning. He said he used to wake up together, kind of insinuating that him and Usher slept in the same bed. And this is around the time Diddy had guardianship of him. Now, we're going to also have clips of where his mother spoke about how reason why she gave Usher to Diddy, you know. And it's kind of like, when I first seen the story, I thought it was weird that he was wrestling with a young kid for cereal. So he was probably doing more than wrestling. And he helped break Usher into this stuff, you know. And they do this with every kid in the entertainment industry. This next clip is an interview of Usher speaking about how he found Bieber. And I do believe that his mother, well, we'll talk about her later in the video, where she was already in the industry, where she purposely bred this kid to be part of this. So I think that he was handpicked by Usher.
An environment where the music industry wasn't really signing a lot of new acts.
Yeah.
You picked up on Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
What did you see in him?
Well,
in the early stages, what was it that made you say, I should do this?
a star is born. A star is born. A star is born.
Peep game, he led with that a star is born. And when I heard that, it made me think that these people purposely make these children around this time. They know the parents. They wait, the woman has a child. When they get the child, they groom them. So I feel like this kid was purposely picked for this. I think most of the kids in the industry are like this.
And I mean, our influence, right, as executives, give us the opportunity to offer perspective and an opinion that is based off of our own trial and error.
At the time, you know, artists like Justin, you know, were either sent through the system of Disney or either Nickelodeon, and we went totally against the grain. We wanted to, you know.
Why did you do that?
Well, because, you know.
And peep the hand gestures right there. This is one of the hand gestures that are used in certain secret societies. And he also said that most stars are picked through the system of Disney, meaning Disney's a system. And he said he went against the grain. When he went by against the grain, they have their own system now. They have their own system of people outside of Disney, outside of Nickelodeon, that are purposely having these children, that are purposely already growing them. They're like, hey, we got a kid ready. Let's go ahead and get them. And Disney does not have their hands on them. So I think that's what just Usher was meaning by this.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. You know, with risk, there is, you know, opportunity for success. You know, so as long as you allow yourself to be exposed to new ideas, new concepts, as you travel the world, be cognizant of what's going on around you, ask questions, listen to the music, understand the culture, you know, absorb the culture, be an incredible student, and eventually you'll be a great teacher.
Now, that's how Usher found Bieber. You know, we're going to get to Bieber's mom later on. Let's talk about Usher's mom. Usher was part of something called the Flavor Camp, which was what Diddy had back in the day. That sounds off already. There's not too many articles online about the Flavor Camp, so if you are able to find anything, please email it to me at patrock1982@gmail.com. You can also use that email to reach me if you have any questions as well. Now, let's get into Usher's mother about how he got to Diddy. And I think she was in the music industry as well.
To stay with Diddy. Remember, Usher went to stay with Puffy. Now that was a business decision right there, because I didn't know Puffy. I didn't know him. So Puffy was there, and I will never forget it. We had this conversation, and he said, "You're gonna have to trust me."
I still couldn't find the whole interview with Usher's mom, well, this particular interview. So if you can find that, please send me that link as well. But I think I have enough information to help with this video that Usher was sent something called a Flavor Camp. His mom trusted him. She sent him there for supposedly mentorship. And Usher ended up seeing stuff he wasn't supposed to see. Also, allegedly, that Usher was sent to the hospital by Diddy for a particular disease. Now, watch from Usher's own words what he said from the Howard Stern show.
And I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
in the 90s. Do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, you know, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place. And I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans.
And your parents
Jodeci,
were
Mary
okay?
J. Blige. They didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 in the morning with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem.
Yeah.
I had like, you know,
What
like
a
a living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
See?
And as you hear from the horse's mouth, he said he would never send his kids to that camp. And Usher's seen a lot of different stuff there while he was there. And that's what happens to these children. They see a lot of stuff they're not supposed to see. Now, we're going to go back to this first clip that I showed where Diddy had Justin Bieber for 48 hours. I think during this 48 hours is where Diddy was showing Justin Bieber all the wild, crazy stuff and breaking him into the industry. You know, all the secret society stuff. And there was a key word that he used where he says we're going to go buck wild. I think that went on people's head.
So, and we going to go full, buck full crazy.
Going crazy.
Crazy. So, and we going to go full, buck full crazy.
Going crazy.
Crazy.
Now, when I heard that word buck, it made me come back to the movie called Uncle Buck. Now, this movie was a 1980s family movie that was full of subliminals. It just depends on how you watch it. Now, when I watched this movie, it showed me the creepy uncle. Now, I don't know if any of y'all young kids are familiar with this, but back when I was growing up, there was always these nasty uncles in the family that would touch the girls. And I'm not gonna lie, families would let it ride. Nobody would say nothing about them. This deserves its own video by itself. So many girls was touched on by their father, their uncle. This is what I've seen growing up. And it was always these weird uncles that'd be in town that would touch them. Now, if you look at the cover of this, it shows the weird uncle and people trying to keep the uncle out of the house. And right there, you see everybody at the door. They don't want him in. And he's supposed to be this obnoxious uncle, pretty much down for his sister as a funeral or something like that. But like I said, the subliminal is that you're going to keep the uncle out of the house away from the kids. And it seemed like I said, these people, I seen this stuff growing up. These guys, it didn't happen in my family, but I seen it happen in other families where these uncles would touch these children and touch these young girls, and people wouldn't bat an eye. They just keep them out their home. And if you think about the word buck, that's also goes back to the word buck breaking. We'll talk about that later. And think about the belt buckle. The uncle comes to the room and looses his belt buckle. So when I heard Diddy use the word, we're going to go buck for a while, already was a subliminal that he's about to do some bucking with Bieber. Like I said, this movie's full of subliminals, and it's also had Macaulay Culkin in it. Now, this scene here, you can see the young girl walking away, looks at the uncle weird, uncle staring back. To me, that's like one of the subliminals where it's like a sexual affair between the uncle and the young girl. Then there's another scene where he's in a laundry room and he's supposedly wrestling with the washing machine. But it comes off very sexual in the movie. So he's making sexual references to the washing machine. This is also a subliminal of him sneaking away in the locked room, having something going on with one of the children in the home. That's what I think this movie was. Like I said, this movie's full of a bunch of subliminals. It could be, some people look at it as comedy, but when I watched it, I was like, oh, they're talking about the weird uncle doing stuff to the children, obscene acts to the children. And as you see, she's peeking in there, and it looks like he's doing something. And like I said, aunties would catch these uncles all the time and not do anything. This is how it was when I was growing up. They'd catch him all the time and just not do nothing. And then you see him right there coming out like he was doing something. This is supposed to be with a washing machine. But like I said, this movie's full of it. And then there's another scene where he's sneaking into the room, drilling through the door. How the uncles would sneak through the room, and they would sneak in, and they'll mess around with the young girl. So he has a drill in his hand. The drill is supposed to stand for an erection. That's what it's supposed to stand for, right? And this part of the movie where he's supposed to be catching the girls messing with the girl, his niece had a boyfriend supposed to be messing with me, so he caught him. But so they'll disguise it in a way in a movie where it looks family friendly. But when I heard Diddy say that, Buck Wild, it made me think of this movie Uncle Buck.
So and we gonna go full crazy.
We're going crazy.
Crazy.
And it says right there, Buck breaking, that to publicly punishing a male slave typically by flogging him, and in some cases subsequently, or him in front of other slaves in order to humiliate him. So I'm pretty sure when Diddy said we're going to buck him, we're going to go buck crazy, he used that word on purpose to let him know that we're going to do this in front of everybody. I'm pretty sure at these parties, you get humiliated in front of everybody's. The slave owner forcing the enslaved man to lower his pants and bend over a tree to stump, ensure that his buttocks were propped out into the air. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that he did Bieber like this. That's why I used that word buck on purpose. Buck crazy. Mike Epps also had a remake of the movie Uncle Buck. And as you can see, the uncle is away from the family, and there's always some little girls, some little kids, and there's always some subliminals, man. I'm telling y'all, this happened a lot in the 90s and early 2000s and the 80s. Happened a lot back in the day. I hope it's not happening still. I'm pretty sure it is, but you men are sick, and I wish we could get rid of your existence as soon as possible. But so we kind of broke down Diddy's and Usher's influence on the Biebs and how it happened. And now let's look what happened to Bieber. This kid grew up just like all the rest of the other child stars. Amanda Bynes, Britney Spears grew up and had a lot of situations happen to him. And you see, grew up, tattoos all over him. He doesn't even know his identity. He doesn't know who he is. Biebs is all over the place because he grew up in such a terrible, terrible environment around these two individuals. And this is the type of stuff that I want exposed on Diddy. I could care less what he does with grown-ups. I want to know what he did with the children and the minors. And I really feel like this stuff happened to him. I really feel like it happened to Biebs, Jaden Smith, Brashear Gray, because I feel like both of these young men all went through some stuff, Now, here's an article that I found where Khloe Kardashian says she's seen the Biebs at a Diddy party. And it says Khloe Kardashian recalls seeing Justin Bieber at a Diddy party where half the people were bucket naked, all right? And like I said, man, if everybody around there is butt naked, and meaning that they will buck you in front of everybody, I'm guarantee you that Diddy's done some stuff in front of a bunch of people. That's why I read that for y'all earlier. This is Khloe Kardashian once revealed she ran into Justin Bieber at one of Diddy's Combs' hedonistic parties. The writer star made the claim in an old episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians prior to Diddy being investigated. The video of the episode was now resurfaced, speculating about Bieber's involvement with Diddy while he was a teen. So he was a teenager. He was dealing with this stuff. They also said that there was a Usher at these parties drinking with Diddy.
So who was with you this weekend? A bunch of my friends. Diddy, Quincy, Justin Bieber, so far French so Montana. Do you even know half the people you're naming? No. Good. If you were seriously dating somebody, would you tell No. You have to get these margaritas out of here. Why aren't you drinking? Yeah, but last night. She didn't go to bed. I haven't been to bed yet. You haven't? I want to be Chloe when I grow up, Court. Oh, you're just so little. Like, my balls are just going. I got on a plane at 5:30 a.m. Well, this party. I think half the people there were butt naked. You would have loved it. Have you met Chloe's new, crew of friends? No. Well, kind of. You did? Yeah. Stop talking. Have you met Chloe's new crew of friends? And all I said was, yes. Stop and then talking. I stopped. All I said was yes. I mean, Courtney diss. So who was with you this weekend?
Now, let's get into Justin Bieber's mom, Pattie Mallette. All right, now I think that's a very interesting shirt he has on right there. It looks like the little J. Cole Devil in the Halo thing going on. Now, his mother had a really, really wild childhood. She went through a lot of stuff that I was talking about earlier where young girls were just getting touched on as children. And they're getting, I feel like she was partially groomed herself to be in the industry, you know, because she actually had wanted to pursue acting and music and stuff like that. And boy, was Justin big when he was in that stomach, man. He kind of looked like his mama, man. Kind of looked like her, but she probably partakes in all this stuff. She probably was already down with all this stuff, you know, from the very beginning. Now, this is one of the most vital parts of the video because it all starts here with the parents. Where was the Biebs' parents, and why did the parents, and well, same thing with Usher. Well, Usher's mom let him go to Diddy. She let him go to Usher because these parents are the main ones who sell their kids to the industry. And it says here that Pattie Mallette, mother of Canadian pop singer Justin Bieber, she also met her son's early career. Her autobiography, Nowhere But Up, was published in 2012 by a Christian book publisher, Revell, and was number 17 on the New York Best Time seller. Now, she was born April 2nd. Justin Bieber was born March 1st. That's weird. 31, 42. You know, they're only 11. If you subtract 31 from 42, it's 11. You know what I'm saying? Or is it? It is. My math's all jacked up. I just think that's weird. If y'all want to do some gematria stuff, shouts out to the gematria guys. I can get into that. But let's read more into her life. All right, it says her childhood. Pattie was born April 2nd in 1975 in Stafford, Ontario, of French-Canadian descent. She's a daughter of Diane Henry and Michael Mallette. When Pattie was 2 years old, her sister, Sally, was 5 years old. The time was killed when she was struck by a vehicle while crossing the street. She also has an older brother named Chris. Now, her teenage years, as a child, Mallette showed interest in acting and singing. At age 9, she began appearing on local television programs, including Romper Room and Big Top Talent, a locally televised children's talent show. When she was 10, Mallette was cast in 2 theatrical productions and starred for Shakespeare Festival, which brings over 500,000 tourists to the town every year. Throughout middle and high school, she took every drama and choir class available, along with 7 years of dancing. After earning numerous trophies and awards for her singing and acting, Mallette was signed to Toronto-based talent agent, which auditions required her to travel 1.5 hours to Toronto every weekend. Her parents were unable to make a commitment, which left Mallette devastated. Like I said, I do feel like his mom had some ties to the industry. This was clear proof that her teenage years she was getting into acting. Now, I don't know who her parents were. I probably need to look at her parents because it's always a tree. Like, their parents is into it, she's into it, brings a child into it. Always start from the beginning. So I'm pretty sure her parents had connections to get her to all these little different talent agencies and stuff like that. But let's continue on reading about her life. It says at age 14, she began using all different types of substances, including, and she also started shoplifting. When she vandalized school, probably by starting a fire in the bathroom, she was suspended from school. When Mallette was 15 years old, she began a relationship with Jeremy Bieber, which lasted for 4 years. She left home when she was 16, supporting herself through petty theft and drug dealing. During this time, Mallette experienced loneliness, depression. At 17, she attempted by throwing herself in front of a truck, which led to a stint in the mental ward. Soon after, Mallette began to embrace Christianity. Now, earlier we talked about when she was 5, her sister got hit by a car. Now, I do believe, and this happens a lot in y'all families as well, not all cases, but some, people do sacrifices within the family. So I do believe her sister having that situation could have been potentially a sacrifice. And it says here, Mallette has said her childhood was rattled with abuse and violence, and that she was at age 3. So she was touched on at age 3. Mallette alleged that her offenders include a male babysitter, the grandfather of one of her friends, and the neighborhood kids mature beyond their years. Her book describes abuse continuing until she was 14, followed by an incident at age 15. She says that all that stuff, I was violated so many times that the years went by and began to feel normal. It was a strange marriage, knowing something is wrong, yet at the same time finding familiar commonplace. That's why I said, y'all, about the Uncle Buck story. This right here is a clear example of it, where she had situations going on with family members, older males. That stuff happened a lot back in the day. A lot. And I really wish we could talk more about that stuff, and we're going to, because that stuff has to get talked about. If any lady wants to come share this story, testimony, you can do it anonymous, because I really hate those men, and I wish those men could be wiped from existence, and I don't know how those guys sleep at night. And if it's still happening today, we need to find a way to eradicate these men off the face of the planet. Right, and it says here that her music background, Mallette encouraged her son's talents as he began showing interest in the music at the age of 2. So she's talking about Biebs, Justin. How the heck your baby gonna show interest in music at 2 years old? You turn a song on, you dance. This is what I mean, that they groom the kids to be prepared for stuff like this. They groom the child for the role. In 2007, she entered Justin into a local Star for Star talent show where he sang Neo's song So Sick, finished his second competition. Mallette posted a video and a performance on YouTube for the family and the friends to view, and continued to upload videos of her son online. The popularity grew. So this is how supposedly Usher found him, on videos online, and he got in contact with him. You know what I'm saying? I do think that Connects brought him that, and I do think that her background, her and her abuse, that she was already ready and pregnant groomed. Now, this potentially could be a situation where, all coincidental, but I highly doubt it. Now, I'm about to show you this video. I'm not going to narrate this video. This video is completely silent. Please read it. It breaks down everything with what happens to Biebs after he got into the industry, and how he's also became attached to secret societies. I will leave the link to his channel in my description box. So this is a very small channel that posted this video. This video is 14 years old. So please don't now that Justin's in the industry, let's look at some of the stuff he's been doing since. Yes, he's most definitely down the boys. He does the same hand signs as the rest of everybody else. And he also follows the same pattern. You know what I'm saying? Here's an image of him and Dave Chappelle on the certain pattern that's always in every secret society. And Dave Chappelle most definitely got down. Look at that man in the see-through shirt. I most definitely got to spend a block on Dave. But Justin is knee deep into the industry, And now we're going to start talking about him and Jaden Smith. There's a video showed him and Jaden Smith doing some man-on-man stuff. And the reason why I'm bringing Jaden Smith up, because I feel like he went through the same exact path as Justin Biebs did, raised in the industry, has a lot of stuff going on. I really feel bad for both of these young kids. They didn't ask for this. They were just raised into it. And it really gets worse. Now, Justin Bieber posted Jaden Smith on his Instagram. I think they have something more than just a friendship going on with each other. Now, why you post another man on your Instagram? It just shocks me. It kind of seems like y'all got something more going on. I'm gonna post this clip of Jaden Smith and Tyler Creator where he had a rant on stage, and it's mostly just helping me strengthen the argument that Jaden Smith he's been traumatized, and this young boy clearly has relationships with other males.
I just want to say Tyler, the Creator, is the best friend in the world, and I love him so much. And I want to tell you guys something. I want to tell you, Tyler doesn't want to say, but Tyler's my boyfriend, and he's been my boyfriend my whole life. Tyler, the Creator, is my fucking boyfriend. It's true.
Look at Tyler trying to laugh that off. Man, that man's serious. He trying to laugh it off, so y'all think that boy joking. Jaden said that stuff with way too much conviction. That boy is dead serious. Tyler just don't want the secret out the bag, even though we all know all them boys date boys.
Also, the fire marshal said they're going to shut us down. So if you could just step back a little bit, just a little bit, just so they don't shut us down or whatever. I don't know what that means. There's a lot of you. Tyler, the Creator, is my friend. Okay, if you take anything away from this fucking show, that's what you need to take away.
Look at this stuff. Clear as day, both of these boys had some stuff going on with them. They kissing each other on the cheek. You know, all this stuff is crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff is crazy. I don't even know if I even showed where Biebs was going down on Odell Beckham in the video, but Biebs clearly has a situation where he's pretty much lost himself. Not saying lost. He found himself, but he knows where he's at. But it's clear as day that these young boys growing up in the industry tend to have the same patterns. They grow up to do man-on-man stuff. They seem to have mental breakdowns. The industry destroys these children, and it starts with your Diddies, your Ushers, and all the other high-ranking people that does this. And I'm also going to talk about a few other guys that has also destroyed some children. You know what I'm saying? That is also monsters. And I'm thinking about, I don't know what I'm going to name this series, because we got to go over Jermaine Dupri, Chris Stokes, Kevin Spacey, Quincy Jones, Dan Snyder. All these guys have had history of them harming young children. These children grow up and they have terrible lives. Like Jermaine Dupri. Jermaine Dupri has a situation where he was going on with Crisscross. You know, one of the kids grew up and he overdosed. You know, and there's articles about it, and there's always rumors about it. And Cat Williams, I posted earlier in the video, where Cat Williams called Jermaine Dupri the king of the PDFs. You know, so it seems like it's just a particular pattern that goes on in the entertainment industry where these high executives or these music moguls seem to have a history of them harming and doing stuff to children. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, I forgot this other group, but we need to look at them as well because they had the little male boy lover symbol. But we'll talk about that at a later video. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we also have Chris Stokes. Chris Stokes that had allegations where he was harming Raz B and the other guys in the group. And you see, Raz B grew up and crashed out. You know, he grew up and crashed out. He had a situation where he lost his mind and, you know, he was drugged out on the internet. And he had a lot of, like I said, these guys harm these children at a young age and then they grow up and then they are out of it. They're traumatized from the stuff that had happened to them in their youth, and they cannot handle it. And we constantly just let these dudes just get away with it, you know? And I think more of these guys need to get taken down, more of them. I don't think it just need to be just Diddy. I think Diddy just made somebody get angry, especially this dude here. This dude here, Dan Snyder, deserves his own video. What he did to Amanda Bynes is just messed up. The young girl was healthy, had a right mind, and then she grew up, and now look at him, man. You can't even tell who Amanda Bynes is now. But we'll do, like I said, we'll talk about this at a later date on a separate video. This type of stuff deserves its own video, you know. And then they also pass it down to their proteges. Look at Drake and Josh. Drake and Josh is the same exact way. These guys had situations where they were harming underage, you know. It happens throughout the entire industry. I think there was a guy from that 70s show, even though it wasn't younger children, but he's doing 30 years for harming women. So these monsters clearly live out throughout the entire industry is plagued with these monsters. And I would advise no child or kid tries to get into it. And then you see here, you got Kevin Spacey. He has a history of harming young boys. So we have all these top flight guys, all of these guys at the very top, and nobody talks about it. And these are articles, known documentation, facts. I'm not making none of this stuff. You can look this stuff up and see that I'm not making none of this stuff up. These guys, this is throughout the entire industry. You probably do this on every actor where they are touching or harming somebody younger than them or somebody lower than them, and they're just doing the most obscene stuff in the world. And it makes no sense to me that nobody talks about it more. You know, we should have been outraged about this, but we only cancel when CNN tells us to cancel. You know, everybody's saying that, like I said, what Diddy did with those grown women and those grown adults on camera, I could care less. I'm worried about what he did to these children. This is another article about Tevin Campbell responds to the stuff of Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones has had stories of him trying to assault younger kids and younger boys. Tupac, Tevin Campbell. This entire thing goes on. And all these, like I said, if I can come up with a name, y'all got some good ideas like Monsters in Hollywood or the Monsters who played. Come up with a great title for me, and we'll do a video on all of them. Quincy Jones, Dan Schneider, Kevin Spacey, Chris Stokes. So Chris Stokes is going to be a really long Jermaine Dupri. There's a bunch of these guys in the industry that harm these children. And Diddy's one of them. And this is what I want to be taught about more. I want the stuff about the children. I could care less what he did to you, consenting adults. Y'all consented to go to these parties. Y'all wanted to go to these freakouts. I could care less what he did with y'all. I'm concerned about these children, and I hate what happened to these young boys because look how they grow up. Look what happens to them when they grow up. They grow up not knowing who they are. They grow up having all types of addiction issues. They grow up having depression. They grow up wanting to take their own lives because of what you monsters did to them while they were children, innocent children. This is the stuff that gets me mad, and this is stuff that gets me angry, and this is why I wish anybody who's a predator out there, y'all do no longer exist on the planet. I want your existence gone because y'all are the worst of the worst. Worst of the worst. And shouts out to everybody watching the video, man. Let me know if y'all like this. Let me know if y'all rocking with the video, man. Let me know what y'all want to blog on next. This video took quite a little bit of time to make, man. I was kind of waiting to the last minute to make it, man. But please like, comment, subscribe, man. We're going to be working this year. Like I said, no days off, man. And if you do want to contact me on my email, patrock@1982@gmail.com. Everybody, y'all be safe. I'm out.